Welcome to the Matcha Guardians podcast, brought to you by Matcha.com. Here, we focus on the biggest trending health topics of our time, featuring the greatest and upcoming wellness advocates. Now, here are the Matcha Guardians. Licensed dietitian Diana Weil and medical journalist Elara Hydrafacials.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode.
Hello. We are super excited to have Joan Gordon with us today, who is a licensed esthetician and my own facialist, who I've been seeing for the last year and a half. And I've been super excited about bringing Joan onto the podcast because she is so knowledgeable about all things skincare. So a little bit more about Joan. Joan, as I said, she's a highly skilled and passionate esthetician specializing in a diverse array of facials and skincare treatments. Partnered with the innovative and exclusive lines of Biologique and Valmont, Joan has over a decade of experience in the beauty industry. Beginning her career as a makeup artist and later learning an esthetician's license allowed her to broaden her skill set, mastering both makeup application and skincare treatments. This unique combination enhances her reputation, offering clients expert guidance on both beauty enhancement and skin health. Joan is committed to ongoing education so she can upgrade the client's experience based on industry trends, utilizing cutting-edge technology and high-quality products. Joan has seen firsthand the transformative power of skincare and how a personalized approach that nurtures both the skin and the spirits of her clients just really works. Known for her warm demeanor and the ability to connect with clients on a personal level, I can say this, firsthand, it leads to an absolutely memorable and wonderful experience. Joan strives to promote relaxation, rejuvenation, and helping you achieve your beauty goals. Welcome, Joan.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
I would love to hear a little bit about your journey, what led you into skincare, and your background.
Well, in my past life, I was a teacher, and I taught art for a little while, so I've always been creative. And then I had my children, and I started diving into becoming a makeup artist. I kind of was doing that for a while. My friend opened up a blow-dry salon, and I was working there for several years. And then I just decided to go and get my license in skincare while I was doing that. And I kind of just plowed forward from there. I loved it. I loved the beauty industry. I always did.
It's very satisfying, I'm sure, to have clients come in and then they leave just feeling like a great, better version of themselves.
Yeah. And also, I was working with kids before, and I was dealing with middle schoolers. And it was just, as much as I did like it, and it was gratifying, I really enjoy working with people that actually come to me purposefully. They come to me because they want to look better, or they come to me for an event or whatever it is. And I love the process of them coming and them leaving. And when they leave, sometimes people can come to me in a bad mood. And then an hour later, an hour and a half later, whatever it is, they're in such a different headspace. And it's really nice to be able to put somebody there.
We came out to Connecticut, and as a birthday present, Elara gifted me a facial with you, which was so lovely. And I can really speak to that as, it was the first time I feel like since I'd had my baby that I had an hour of just like pampering and self-care. And I feel like I left, I think postpartum, you don't really feel like yourself, or at least I haven't felt like myself. And getting to spend that hour with you, I left feeling like rejuvenated and more motivated to take care of myself. And it's like, I think it means more than just that hour on the table. The benefits go beyond that. Just so everyone listening at home knows, Elara has a refrigerator in her bathroom for her skincare.
Wow.
What do you have? One of those mini ones?
Yeah, a little mini cute.
Yeah.
It's a mint-colored fridge, and I keep all the products that Joan has recommended for me in my little fridge, so they're just in tip-top shape. And it's also a way to hide them from my husband. So they're not like easily accessible, just kind of right at the sink. So he just sees it as he's shaving or something, thinks, oh, I'm going to slather this on my face and waste my products. That's just like my worst nightmare, right?
Elara was joking that when Peter's mad at her, what he'll do is go and use one of her masks.
Well, I wasn't joking. That's a serious thing that happens, and I get very upset.
Yeah. I just feel like if there were a little fridge in my bathroom, I would probably remove what was in it and put a beer in it to have a shower beer.
Do my products need to be refrigerated?
It feels a lot nicer when they go on your face cold. Anything cold on your face feels really nice. Do they have to? No. Will they prolong the efficacy of the product? Perhaps. Is it mandatory? No, it's not mandatory. They'll last, but it always feels nice to put something cold on your face.
I have a follow-up question on that. So, you know, on the bottle it says, whatever, 6 months, 18 months on your makeup. But face products are expensive. And if I don't use something in that recommended time, I'm absolutely not throwing it away. How bad is that?
Well, let's backtrack on that question. Why are you buying an expensive product and not using it?
Ooh.
That's fair too. Okay, let's stick with makeup. Let's stick with makeup.
Hang on. Let me make you feel better, Diana. And this is going to horrify Joan. So I was a broadcast journalism major in college, and one of our classes, we anchored a television newscast. And so they had us all go out and get makeup to, be TV and camera ready. This is 2002. And so it's just the basis, foundation or whatever for your face. And I kept that thing. I'm going to reveal myself in the podcast. I kept that thing for 8-10 years. If I had a zit, I would just cover it up. Joan's eyes are so big right now if you're listening to the audio version of the podcast. I just tell you that to make you feel better, Diana. I know now that was a really bad idea. Unfortunately, I didn't get, botulism or something, but not my finest moment.
What kind of product was it?
I mean, this is, 25 years ago, Joan, but this probably was just put it on your face so you're not washing.
It was a makeup product or was it a skincare product?
It was a makeup product.
Like a foundation type of thing?
Yeah, I think like Diana said, like a kind of a concealer, yeah.
Well, that makes me feel better because I don't have anything that's 10 years old.
I will say, as a makeup artist, I do have a lot of things that are old in my kit. My shadows are old, but they still work. I mean, I don't know how much I would use a foundation that's super old because I feel like it would maybe crust up.
Now, how much does putting on a full face of makeup every day impact your skin health and your skincare routine?
The only reason it should impact your skincare routine is make sure you take it off. If you don't take it off, you're going to break out. Your skin's not going to be happy. Your skin is happy when it's clean and taken care of.
So do you think it's okay to wear makeup every day, though, for skin health? Like if you put on foundation, concealer, all that kind of stuff?
I don't think there's a problem with it. If you take it off. You just have to have the routine. You just have to have the diligence to clean your face before, clean your face after.
Should you clean your face, take off your makeup before you work out?
I would. I know a lot of people that wear concealer or something. I think more important is make sure that you cleanse your face after you work out.
Big question in my mind. What is more important? Washing my skin at the beginning of the day or washing my skin at the end of the day? Personally, I'm much more consistent with my nighttime skincare routine. And then in the morning, I do just a quick rinse, and then I'll make sure I lather on moisturizer or SPF. But the real cleaning, cleansing, step-by-step process happens at night for me.
So the morning, you're going to remove your sweat from the night, all your oils and your bacteria that are created while you sleep, because there's a lot of cell turnover when you sleep. And at night, you're going to remove your dirt, your makeup, your environmental pollutants, all of that business. So
if you chose one, Joan, if you had to choose.
If you had to choose one, probably the night, because, think about how many times a day you wash your hands.
Do you think that you should use a different cleanser in the morning and a different cleanser at the night, or can you use the same cleanser?
I think you can use the same cleanser. If you're wearing makeup, I think you should definitely at night use a cleanser that's going to help take off your makeup. So at night, for me, I don't wear a ton of makeup, but at night I always use a balm or an oil-based cleanser because that helps emulsify everything and take it all off. And in the morning, I might use more of a milky cleanser. It depends on your budget, right? If you can only afford one, then skincare can get expensive.
Okay, can we talk about that? I think that's skincare can be outrageously expensive, and then you see, drugstore products. Do you think that you have to spend money on skincare? Or do you think that you can get the same quality at drugstore? What would you tell someone about cost and skincare.
Do what you can, but obviously the more, there's certain lines like the Biologique line and the Valmont line. I think they are putting a lot of science into their skincare, and the efficacy of their products is transformative. It can really change the way you look. I mean, for example, I didn't use Biologique before I started working at the Delamar. And I noticed a big difference just by using the P50 lotion. Do you still use it?
I do.
Laura?
Yeah,
You do?
but I don't do it every day. I usually do it like 3 days a week now.
And do you exfoliate the other days also?
No.
And why don't you use it every day?
Just because I feel like it's too much on my skin. Like my skin's a bit more sensitive now. So what I'll do is I have the Valmont
Vital?
The Bubble Falls.
Because
that what it's
Bubble
called?
Falls is a cleanser.
The cleanser, yeah. I just do the cleanser. I don't do any
So
sort
you
of
don't-
other exfoliator.
So you don't tone.
I don't tone. I have a little kit, so I got a little, because I'm obsessed with skincare, guys. For myself, for Christmas, I got myself the Valmont, which is a skincare line from Sweden, right, Joan?
No, it's Switzerland.
Switzerland. And I got myself an advent calendar, and in it, it had the toner, which I used and I loved. And I think next time I come into the spa, I will be getting, because I think I would benefit from having that in my routine as like an extra kind of sloughing of the skin, like you're saying.
It's just a nice refresher. So toner, actually, after you cleanse your skin, you can strip your skin, or you can, and what a toner does is actually it balances out your pH and brings your skin tone perfectly so that it's at the right pH for everything to sink into your skin.
Yeah, so let's take a step back in terms of, right, if we were going to put together an ideal skincare routine. The products might vary a little bit, right, in terms of the specifications of the type of toner you use or the type of cleanser you use. But like, what does a cleanser provide? What does the toner provide? What are the next 2 or 3 steps we might do during a night care routine?
This is where I get so lost because every product is like, use this as your first, like, to put this directly in clean skin, and it's like, okay, which one do I use?
But what
and
is clean
when?
skin? Yeah, exactly. So it's a bit confusing.
I'm also going to jump in here for a second and say that the products we're talking about here, don't feel overwhelmed to write them all down. If you're listening, we'll compile a list and put it in our show notes afterwards as well.
So obviously, you start out cleansing your skin. Most skin types are great for a milky cleanser. Oilier skin types, gel cleansers work nicely because they're not going to leave as much of a silkiness on your skin.
What is a milky cleanser? Like, will it say milky cleanser, or what? How do we know if it's a milky cleanser?
When you take it out, it has like a creamier texture, a milk, and there's a gel cleanser that looks like gel. And there is a bubble cleanser. Some people like the feeling of bubble, But the nice thing about the Valmont Bubble Falls is that after you clean your skin, you don't feel squeaky clean. You still have that moisturizing feel. That's a myth, I think, also. In my opinion, I'm sure there's other people that might disagree with me, but I think having that squeaky clean feeling that most people get from, let's say, soap, is not the best thing for your skin. Because what you've now done is you stripped all the oils off of your skin. You wreaked a little havoc on your barrier. So, and that's where toner comes into play. So that's why you should be using your toner. So you never know how a cleanser your skin is going to react to a cleanser. So it's always great to tone afterwards. Toner balances out your pH. Now the P50, which is with Biologique, not only does it tone your face, but it's also a daily exfoliant, which is a really nice thing because it's mild enough to exfoliate your skin on a regular basis, which means sloughing off the dead skin, kind of, evening out your skin tone, evening out your texture, which is a great thing to do.
But you just leave it on. Which I think is, like, for me, was counterintuitive, because when I hear the word exfoliator, right, I think, something that's rough, right? Like St. Ives that you get at the drugstore, and I'm scrubbing it on my face and I'm sloughing it off. With the P50, it's just kind of this oil that you're putting on a cotton ball and you're just kind of popping it all over your face, like,
right,
and just leaving it on,
leaving it on. St. Ives is a product that you can buy at the drugstore, and it's basically rocks in a bottle. I mean, it's terrible.
I used to use it.
Yeah, we all did, I think, because that was the exfoliator, right? But I always tell people, use it on your hands and your feet.
That's something that I've had to really shift, because when I exfoliate, I want to feel that like exfoliation,
The granular.
right? And that's not, like these gentle exfoliants, which I think are much better for your skin. They don't give me that same satisfaction, or they don't feel like they're doing anything.
The Valmont actually has a beautiful face exfoliant that has the granular effect. And that's good too. I mean, whatever works for you. Some people don't want it. As Elara said, it's too much for her right now. I don't know which formula you're using. And that's also the nice thing about the P50 is that it comes in 5 different formulas. But some people just want to exfoliate, a couple of times a week, and that's fine. 1 to 2 times a week. Just make sure you do it.
Okay, so you cleanse, you tone, and then what?
Exfoliate.
You can exfoliate, and then you tone again. Always good to hydrate between your steps. So if you get a hydrating toner, you cleanse, you tone, you exfoliate, you tone, and then your skin is prepared for a treatment for targeted concerns, like a serum.
Okay, so we prep the skin, and then you kind of get into the individual, like if you have acne concerns, if you've got wrinkles or stuff like that.
If you have
Right.
dark spots, if you want to, you deal with,
Right.
brightening and things like that. And then you
Right.
just want to lock it all in with like a really nice
moisture.
right? Just like
Right.
put all the
Eye
stuff.
cream, moisturizer. And if you don't want to put on a serum, okay, don't. Again, it's all up to you. It's all up to your budget. Sunscreen, super important. I don't personally like sunscreen that is in your moisturizer. I think it's fine, but I think adding another layer of sunscreen is better.
Outside of your daily skincare routine, what would be the ideal amount of times for someone to get a facial?
Facials are great 4 to 6 weeks. It's always great to start them in your 30s and 40s. If you can, if you're lucky enough to afford it in your 20s, great. I think it's a reset button for your skin. You're going to see visible results. It's going to give you a boost. So if there's a special occasion that you have to go to and you're going to get a facial, you're going to notice a difference in your skin. It's going to glow. It's going to be brighter. You're going to see how a facial actually works. And most importantly, at that point, you can get a little guidance. And when you get a little guidance, hopefully you'll take something away, with you, and you can start some sort of routine. If you have no routine and then you go and get a facial, most likely you'll buy one product or you'll take away something from your esthetician and it will stick with you, right? And then you'll start adding that into your routine. And every time you go, you're going to notice that, oh, well, I kind of liked that, or I didn't like the way my skin felt after that. And then you kind of play with whatever suggestions we have offered you and you go from there and whatever works best for you on a daily basis. But I do believe that facials are a great way to A, make you feel good. B, you're gonna, I mean, Diana, you never get facials, right?
No, I don't get facials.
And you came to me last month. And how did you feel? How'd your skin feel? How did you feel after?
Great. I felt like my skin glowed. I felt like it was a lot healthier. It was nice. And I think I would benefit more from it consistently.
And how long did you feel like your skin looked good?
Maybe like a week.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
The sleep deprivation just sucks it out of us. John, have you ever gotten a facial?
I have not. I know my wife has and enjoys them. I know that, she gets massages. She's much better at the self-care than I am, and called that stereotypical, man, woman, husband, wife, whatever. I've thought about it, but I never have. But since you ask, I do have to ask Joan this question. I am a 44-year-old guy. I am realizing that I need to start taking better care of my skin, particularly since shave my head. There's a lot of skin, especially on my face. And I just look, and I've Googled, I've chat GPT'd, I've all these things of how do I take care of my skin aside from just, body wash in the shower and that's about it.
Cleanse, tone, moisturize.
Even for guys, because I'm the guy who's overwhelmed by all of this, by this entire conversation. So if you break it down for me, Joan, what do I need to do?
Clean your skin. Okay, so you use body wash for your face.
Yeah,
Okay,
I know.
Let's just break that down.
Yeah, I know.
Body wash.
Okay.
It's not face wash. It's body wash. Right? So it's meant for the body.
Right.
Let's talk about skin. Skin on your body is different than skin on your face.
Sure.
The skin underneath your eyes, much thinner. You can see veins. It's bluer. It's thin.
Yeah.
Skin on your lips, pink. Why? Because it's thin. Skin on your palms. You can beat the heck out of your palms, and what's going to happen? Nothing. You can go like this, and it's thick. It's thick skin on your hands, thick skin on your feet. It's different skin. Skin is your largest organ.
Right.
It's different on all parts of your body. So why are you using the same product that you would use all over your body on your face?
That's fair.
But
Right?
John, in his defense, I do think for whatever reason, right? Maybe it has to do with hormones. Men just seem to have an easier time maintaining a clear complexion than women, right?
They have thicker skin. Men have thicker skin than women.
There's a joke there somewhere.
I know there is.
Yeah.
I was thinking, sometimes I'm like, maybe all of this is dumb and we should be scaling everything way back because my husband, who uses Dove body soap from the feet up, has perfect skin.
See, that even got me. You got to start at the face and then work your way down, not the opposite.
But maybe that's because, we're still in our 30s and then it's going to catch up to him suddenly.
We're very hormonal. We have a lot going on in our bodies. I mean, we have menstrual cycles. We go through pregnancy. We go through menopause. There's a lot of things that go on in our bodies. Not to say that men are not hormonal as well, but because they are. A man will notice a difference if they start using better skincare. I mean, I know with my boyfriend, sometimes I'm like, let's mask, and we mask together, and he'll tell me, my face feels better. He has oily skin. I was like, well, you need to moisturize. And he's like, why would I moisturize? I have oily skin. It's just going to make me oilier. Well, guess what? He started to moisturize and his skin is not as oily. Because what's happening is your skin is oily because it's overproducing oils because it's actually dry.
John, will you be our guinea pig? Start a skincare routine and tell us what your skin is like.
Yeah.
While you three talk, I'm going to run to my bathroom and see what I have. I did put something in my face. I'm going to run and see what it is while you three talk.
Okay.
I don't even know what he put on his face.
You're funny. It's funny, though, because, men do use Dove soap. But my whole thing is with this whole soap thing is when you clean your showers or your bath or whatever, and what are you cleaning out?
Soap scum.
Soap scum.
All right, I'm back.
Show us.
Again, not knowing anything as a guy. Aveeno Calm and Restore Nourishing Oat Cleaner, sensitive skin, hydrates, preserves skin's barrier. I don't even know if this is for face or not.
Yeah, that's a face cleaner.
Nourishing day cleanser. Look at you, John.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing this in the shower along with, the body wash. I'll clean my face afterwards.
Oh, okay. So you're using body wash on your face.
Well, I mean, body wash and everything, and then this on my face afterwards.
That's good. Have you noticed a difference since you started using it, or not at all?
Not a lot, but I feel, but when I scrub it on and wash it off, my face feels better. I feel like maybe I'm doing something to maybe not be a wrinkled old man in 25 years. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you as tight? Is your skin as tight?
Joan, with all due
You don't
respect,
even
these
know.
are things that guys don't notice.
Yeah, they don't. They don't.
Do you think that there is actually anything can we get rid of our wrinkles with product?
Mm-hmm. I think you can minimize them.
Mm-hmm. By just specific products that are for age and wrinkles, or by what?
Well, most products right now have hyaluronic acid in it, right? So hyaluronic acid retains moisture and it helps plump up your skin. So right there, plumping up your skin is going to plump up your wrinkles, right? Vitamin C. Vitamin C is a retinol. It protects us from the environment. It's anti-aging. It's anti-acne. It helps with psoriasis. These are all, it's great, a great thing to include in your skincare routine. Ceramides, they help moisturize, they help restore your barrier. Copper peptides, they help boost collagen. There's so many different ingredients that are so good for your skin. So yes, I do think that skincare can help minimize wrinkles. I think that people that do nothing, think about all the people that lay out in the sun. Did you ever see that picture of the bust of the truck driver? It was a woman.
Yeah.
You have, right?
Yes.
So half of her face was always in the sun because it was at the window, and half of her face was never in the sun. And she has like 2 different sides of her face because of the environmental pollutants.
I think something else that is pretty interesting about this is that these products that have these ingredients that are anti-wrinkle, anti-aging tend to be more expensive. I've gone into Joan and kind of been like, hey, do I need to be using these expensive products preventively to keep myself from getting wrinkles? To which your answer has been no. And I've found in the past when I have used these really heavy-duty products for anti-aging, wrinkling, it has made my skin break out when I don't normally break out, which I think is kind of counterintuitive, where you can overdo it with these products, right?
Yes. You don't want to do too much, and you don't want to do too much of the same thing. And that's a lot of times what people don't realize either. You could be putting on a serum, a night cream, just things that have the same ingredients, and then you're overdoing it. It's too much of one thing.
So, I get really confused with the vitamin C, hyaluronic acid. There are all these things, and a lot of them seem to do the same thing. Should you really just pick one of them to do are there benefits to doing all of the different ingredients that do the same thing, or should you really just pick one of them?
Well, it's hard to just pick one of them because no product just has one ingredient. They usually have a mixture of all the ingredients. If you're exfoliating, you're going to want something with salicylic acid or glycolic acid or benzoyl peroxide, right? But if you want mostly anything nourishing these days has hyaluronic acid, and that's Elara, something that I wanted to say. A lot of people buy like a hyaluronic acid serum.
Yep.
I never found that necessary because most of the products that you buy now have hyaluronic acid. So why do you need that extra? I don't know. To me, it's a waste of money, but spend your money someplace else.
Yep. Waste of money, extra step. And I found that it feels like there's just too much stuff on my skin at that point, right? Like there is such thing as, once again, too much of a good thing, like you're saying.
Too much of a good thing.
Which then I guess leads me to my question about different skincare treatments. So, Joan, I don't know if you knew this about me, but I used to be a smoker, which at some point I started feeling like I had smoker lines around my lips, which I was horrified by in my early 30s. So when I was over living in Copenhagen, I looked into, what are these kind of not so invasive skincare treatments I can do to remove these wrinkle lines and things like that. So I got into this bit of a cycle of doing microneedling treatments, where I would go in and do a microneedling treatment, and then 4 to 6 weeks later, I would do a vitamin C facial treatment where it was like nourishing, and then, go back to doing my microneedling treatments. And I kind of went through 4 cycles of that and into a maintenance where I would do it just twice a year. And then I even was crazy and did a few Fraxel treatments, which I don't know if anyone listening has heard of a Fraxel treatment, but they are so painful.
Did you notice a difference?
I did notice a difference, though. Like, boy, oh boy, it definitely worked, but it was so painful. It's the only time in my life where I've gotten a facial treatment where I have swatted someone's hand away and say, get the fuck away from me. Yeah, which is not like me.
I heard the CO2 laser is like that as well. I've actually never had a laser treatment. They scare me. But I do heard that they do work. I mean, they're burning your skin off.
They're burning your skin off. It's like this little machine that tracks back and forth. And so like the first time it goes by, it's like kind of just feels, like something hot on your skin. And then they kind of track back and forth in a given section, let's say 5 or 6 times. And by that 5th or 6th time, it's intense. It feels like little bees
It's aggressive.
are just stinging you like 12 at once in a given place. And it was particularly really intense around, like you said, where you have thinner skin. So around the lips, around the eyes.
Neck.
Super brutal. Yeah. And the neck. I didn't get my neck done, but some people do it for the neck tightening, which is actually what led me to do it. As a friend of mine was telling me how her father had gotten it done and it completely transformed his neck and any wrinkle lines. And I thought, that's what I want.
I've done microneedling and I think it's great. The downtime there is none really. You look a little red the first day, the second day you're a little less red. But I mean, I know that with laser, especially Fraxel, you can look like a nightmare.
You look like a tomato whose skin is sloughing off for about like a week to 2 weeks.
Some people even scab.
They scab, yeah, because
wow.
you basically just burned off a layer of your skin. So I would do it in like the dead of Copenhagen winter where like I wasn't out in any daylight.
Right.
And I could just, put a ton of moisturizer on and avoid the sun for 2-3 weeks. John, do you know what microneedling facials are?
No, but the term terrifies me.
So I always said picture like a highlighter, right? And the tip of the highlighter has like a bunch of needles on it. You can do medical grade I do something called micropuncture, which doesn't penetrate into the dermis because as an esthetician, we can only work with the epidermis and there's 5 layers of that and you can't go below that. So if you want medical grade, which is a nice way to really, really puncture down into the dermis, stimulate collagen production. I notice a big difference with my face with that. The tone, texture, youthfulness, and everything. So
You're making me want one, Joan. See, I'm
I
an
know.
addict.
I
I'm
want
an
another
addict.
one too.
Yeah.
However, laser can be really risky with people with darker skin tones because darker skin tones have more melanin. And if you injure yourself with darker melanin, you actually are risking yourself for hyperpigmentation, which is scary too, because that's really hard to get rid of.
So the one time I had a very bad reaction to a facial treatment was the time I got something called Dermaplane.
Oh,
You know
really?
what Dermaplaning
You got
is? Yeah.
bumps? Did
I
you get
got
red
them
bumps?
all over. Yeah. So like I've never been the type of person who has a ton of acne. I mean, I'll get the what do you call them? Like special occasions that's, where they'll appear around my chin or like on my forehead area or like when I work out around my hairline. And I got this treatment called dermaplaning where basically it's almost like, looks like a laser, like a blade. It looks like a super thin blade.
It's a scalpel.
It's a scalpel. Yeah, right? That sounds
It's medical
fun.
grade scalpel.
And it just sloughs off a layer of your skin and also like the little hairs on your face. And I guess I have a lot of little hairs on my face. And I was like told that I have a lot of little hairs on my face. And I was like, oh geez, that can't be good. Like take them off, even though I'm a mammal and I should have hairs on my face. And I got a crazy reaction. Like maybe it had to do with the medications I was on at the time. And I just was covered in all these little cystic zits. Have I ever shown you a picture, Diana?
No.
John, I can even maybe find it and you can like show it during the podcast right now, but it is crazy. Like we're just talking like loaded up. I was so self-conscious. I didn't like going
How long
out.
did that last?
It was about like 2 months, honestly, until it was
wow.
fully
Wow.
gone. It was super bad. It's like I did it at the end of like beginning of October. And I remember up until like Christmas, like around that time, it kind of just lingered because like you said, I kind of got obsessed over like, how do I get rid of this? And I kind of just was overdoing one product, overdoing another product, trying to do everything at once. And my skin was just like, what are you doing to me? Like, please stop. And then finally, when I kind of just like took a break and just focused on like a milk cleanser, focused on just drinking water and simply moisturizing my skin, it finally calmed down. Like by the time January rolled around. But it really turned me off of honestly facials and more intense things for a while. Yeah, for about like 8 months, I didn't get a facial.
It depends also, what she did beforehand. Did she over exfoliate you? You probably had some sort of dermatitis. You got it. It was probably dermatitis of some nature, like inflammatory dermatitis or inflammatory rosacea after, getting all those little bumps in here.
It was bad.
Joan, when someone comes in with like fillers, can you feel that like in their skin? Like, can you tell where the filler is?
No, not if it's done well. I mean, I'm dealing with a pretty high-end clientele, so I'm sure they're not getting treatments that aren't done right or well. I do have people that come in like the day after they get Botox, and I send them on their way. I'm like, I'm not touching you. I mean, it's kind of amazing to me that I really don't like to touch people after they did Botox for at least 2 weeks, fillers, 2 weeks or more, because I can move it. I am about facial massage and creating that microcirculation underneath your skin. And I'm not moving it. You can move it. I get droopy eye. I'm not getting, And it's amazing to me how mad people get. Took me forever to get this appointment. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Do you feel like if you've started doing Botox and you've started doing fillers, you kind of at some point reach this equilibrium where you have to keep doing it? Or if you suddenly stopped, like it would create a lot of sagging or aging because you've just pumped it with so much stuff? You've been doing Botox for so long. Have you ever encountered that with a client and they're just kind of like, hey, I want to, I'm over this. I've been pumping my face with all this stuff for the last 10 years, but, my skin is like, it's not feeling good over the last 6 months. Can you please help me kind of bring it back to a better natural balance and equilibrium, like with products or with facials?
It would not be feeling good from Botox?
Or just from fillers and Botox. So say you do it, you kind of overdo it, and you've put a lot of stuff in your face, and you suddenly just stop. Because they tell you things like you have to keep, you do it every 6 months, or you do it every 9 months, or you do it every year, and you have to just kind of keep
continuously
do it.
Well, it's a prophylactic.
Yeah, I would just think, right, especially when it comes to fillers, like that is going in your face, right? There's like an actual volume being filled up in my cheeks. So if I'm not putting said product in my cheeks...
So you go from a size 6 to a size 8, and then you lose weight, and you still have your size 8 face, but now you're back to a size 6. So it's going to...
Yes. Would that happen?
It can, sure. That's why you have to not overdo it. You want everything in moderation. And when you stop doing Botox, you're just going to get, your wrinkles are going to come back. It's paralyzing your muscles. So when you stop paralyzing your muscles, you're going to be able to flex. So that's going to be the same. Fillers, your face can sag. That's why people get facelifts. Facelifts are happening more and more now. We're all vain. There's a lot of vanity out there, right?
I know. It's like when you talk about the things that we do, it's wild.
It's wild when you think about it, right?
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. But they have all these amazing treatments now. All these plastic surgeons can do all these non-invasive, like, facelifts now from the deep plane and the platysma. And they just, like, pull it up just a tiny bit, and it makes such a big difference. But they do, I follow a lot of them on Instagram, and they don't like fillers because they say it causes problems for them during surgery.
Joan, I'm jealous that Elara has found you, and you are obviously such a knowledgeable, esthetician. And I feel like sometimes I've gotten facials every now and then, and I don't always trust the person who's giving me, I'm like, okay, do you actually know what you're doing? Or is this just like, you're touching my skin and recommending the product that you feel like you have to recommend? What advice do you have for someone who wants to find a really good esthetician and get facials that are, very tailored to just a well-done facial? What advice? How do we find you and where we live?
Move to Greenwich.
I think the first thing is find out, get a good skincare line. Where I work, ongoing training is super important for the lines that I represent. Elara, knows that sometimes I'm out for like 3-4 days in training. If you go to a place that carries higher end products, you know that they have to get trained. So, for example, Biologique, I know that they've actually taken away their line from certain studios, certain spas, certain salons because they're not following protocols. You want someone to go to that understands each product and what that product is doing for you. So I think the first thing you want to do is find a place that with a skincare line that you might be interested in. And then you know that those people are getting trained.
I think something that was really important to me, and one of the reasons why I gravitated towards Joan as a facialist, is when I went in for my first facial with her, I felt like she was just educating me the whole time. Like, she wasn't just slathering things on my face and saying, relax, like, just melt away this hour and fall asleep. She was, giving me a play-by-play of like, I'm doing this for this reason. Like, this feels like this because it's cleansing and also keeping yourself moisturized. Like, I'm going to do a combination of this serum and that serum to address that and that because your skin is looking dry. Before she even touched my skin, she brought out like the big amplifier. She put on the light and really looked at my skin and just talked to me. So kind of like, when you find a really good doctor or any integrative medicine or any sort of expert in your life, they just talk to you about what's going on. How's your skin been lately? How do you feel about it? Like, what have you been doing? Over the past year, because I've gone through pregnancy and postpartum, my skin has been very dry. So I perpetually am like, I'm sleep deprived. I'm probably not drinking enough water. I'm stressed out more than usual. So my skin, it's drier. It's a bit more dull compared to normal. I mean, my nutrients, right, have just been stripped from myself while I was breastfeeding. And so Joan would ask me all of that and cater to that specifically. Versus the times, say, I've been traveling and I've gotten a facial at a spa, and you can tell they must have like a sheet of just like the steps of what they do. Yeah. And they just go through the motions of just using these products, and they don't even think twice to use something different or to deviate. And so I think it's very important before you book the appointment, just that there is a bit more of a personalized, specialized approach. Do I think that it's going to be more expensive? Like, yes, I do. But I do think that it's better to go that route and get facials less often, say get them seasonally, than to be getting them, I don't know, every 6 weeks and have it just be kind of this like cookie cutter hydrofacial, for example, that people are very into. Like, hydrofacials are very popular. It's kind of just this device that you use. There's just like a formulaic serums that they put on your face. People like it. You go in and out within 30 minutes. Bing, bang, boom. I think that like works well for people. I don't know if they have like a really regimented skincare routine at home. And
I call it the glow and go.
Glow and go, exactly. Like, it's great for before an event, but it's not going to be, innovative or changing to your routine or any way. And you're not going to come out of there with any new knowledge as far as like, I'm going to be more conscious about using toner, right? I'm going to be more conscious about, like, John, I'm going to start moisturizing. I'm going to start toning. I'm going to start moisturizing. Maybe not both, right? Maybe not both, but maybe he's going to start moisturizing after he cleanses his face, right? And like, I think every time, like Joan says, you go and maybe you're going to pick up one thing, even though she's giving you 10 or 15 things in that hour.
Very good, Elara.
Did I learn? Yeah, I've been listening.
Yeah, it's true. There's so much out there, and you do want somebody that, I take pride in my job because people are coming to me to look good, to feel good. A face is the first thing that you see on a person. You meet them, and that's the first thing that you see. And a lot of times, I'm sure people come up to you, Elara, and say, "What are you doing? Your skin looks great." And then it snowballs after that. So, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of the, I was at a spa, and there were times that I could do, 12 people in a day.
Wow.
And I was exhausted at the end of the day. But it was the formula. Do, and I don't like that anymore at all. I like a much more personalized approach. Everyone is different. Every skin is different. Stress has a huge factor on your skin. You're releasing cortisol. Your healing is slower. It's all different. Diet plays a big part in your skincare. So there's so many variants. You know, the concept of you are what you eat is very much true.
I'm ready to go and fly back and come and see you, and I want more products. And I mean, it is addicting. So we always like to end with these 2 questions, and it doesn't have, just whatever you're feeling right now. But what is a life lesson that you have had to learn the hard way?
Don't rush into things. Believe in yourself, believe in your decisions. You know, I'm 57. I went through a lot. I'm divorced. My son is graduating from college, and he had a heart defect when he was born. So I was an advocate for him his whole life. So being an advocate, having faith that things are going to work out, trying not to spiral. Hard. It's also, I guess being human, life is hard. But we have to believe in ourselves and know that things are going to work out.
And then something that just comes to mind right now, doesn't have to be, right, this mantra that you live by. But is there any piece of advice that's kind of been in the back of your head lately?
A really important thing that I have learned as I got older is staying away from toxicity. You're going to come across people in your life that are going to want to bring you down, and they don't even think that they're doing it intentionally, but they can be, and recognizing it and recognizing to get away from it because it's bringing you into darker places or places that you don't want to be, and you just being the best version of yourself and evolving and recognizing your infinity loop of nonsense that you can produce in your head and trying to get out of that loop and break away from it. And toxicity is one of them. I've been around a lot of toxic people in my life, and sometimes you rely on them, not realizing that you rely on them. And then once you get rid of them, you almost feel like you can breathe. And that has really taught me a lot. I'm pretty much a person that I like my select few people, my daily people. I'm not a big group type of person. I'm not one of those people that has a gazillion friends. I have a birthday, I have to have 50 people there. If I have my 2 or 3, I'm good. So I've learned to be that type of person, to have my closer relationships, the ones that are more meaningful for me. And I think friends are super important.
Quality over quantity.
Quality over quantity. Joan, our first podcast we ever recorded, if you ever want to take a listen, is all about the science of friendship and how there's an actual scientist who, did research around this. And it is about quality over quantity and just having that, that small nuclear group, right, of those 3 to 4 people that you check in with every day. And that's what it's about.
100%, because, we all have family, but we don't choose family. We choose our friends. We choose our people. And I think you might be able to rely on family somewhat, but you can really rely on your friends more. I always say that about the holidays. Sometimes, I'm like, why does holidays always have to be with family? Because when they stress you out, sometimes it's, I guess the Friendsgiving. What is it? Friendsgiving?
Friendsgiving, yeah.
That's like the new thing, It's nice. Friends are important. People you surround yourself with are important. So surround yourself with good people, and I think you'll get better results from yourself.
Sage advice.
Sage advice. Well, I always love the time we spend together, Joan. So
yeah, me too, Elara.
Joan, if someone wanted to come and get a facial with you, where would they find you? How could they find you? How could they get a facial with you?
I work at the Delamar Hotel in Greenwich, Connecticut, and best way to get an appointment with me is probably to call. We have a plethora of choices of facials. Start out with the most basic and go from there. Start out with the custom 60-minute. We start out there. We introduce ourselves to one another, and I learn about you, you learn about me, and then we go from there. And then the next time, we really can take a deep dive into targeting exactly what you need for your skin.
Joan, this has been such a pleasure. Thank you so much. I feel I'm going to go through my skincare cabinet right now. And, we have a lot that we didn't get to. So we would love to have you back on at some point.
Sure. Thank you for having me.
Sip, savor, and live well with new episodes of the Matcha Guardians every Wednesday. Follow our show for free on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you're listening right now. Leave your questions and comments below. Find us on Instagram at The Matcha Guardians, or click on matcha.com.